1-0 in front of our fans here in Autzen Stadium. Always a special place. I think our guys felt that coming out, and we certainly our first couple series we stumbled a little bit. We dropped the ball that could have put us ahead 7-0 in a hurry. Credit to Bowling Green. They designed some really good things in their inside zone schemes with a backside full with the guard and tackle, the insert of the Y, which we call the sniffer. Tight end that allowed them to get some pretty good chunk yards early on, and as the game went on, the second and third quarter, felt that we really started coming on and playing Oregon football, the brand of football that we want to play, and then cut down on some penalties. Got a little bit sloppy at times, but overall, there's some significantly positive things in the direction that we want to be better at, and then of course some other things that we want to clean up. And I think the best part about it that our players know that we can continue to be a much better football team as the season goes on.
Questions, Matt?
Was it as simple as just that Justin Herbert touchdown pass on 4th down to get this team going? Because it seemed like after that happened, everything broke loose and guys were playing.
Yeah, we're a juiced operation. And in that first series, we thought we had it. We thought we had a touchdown, and we felt we got the exact coverage we wanted. We had Jalen just splitting the seam right there. And we came up short. We didn't connect on it. And I think the best part about our players and our coaches is, look, we're not always going to have the perfect play, or we're not always going to have perfect execution, but there's got to be a trust and belief in one another. So dialed it up again, and the second time around, Jalen and Justin connected. Yeah, and it just started a frenzy on the sideline. So our guys have to understand that, that's part of it. College football momentum is the biggest monster there is, so we've got to create our own momentum. It can't always be in a big play. It sometimes has to be just by physical, right, just play by play, down by down execution, but that play certainly got things rolling.
Right here in the middle, Ryan, right over your shoulder, Ryan, other shoulder.
Other left. Mario, what does that kind of say about the potential of this offense? I think Justin only had 10 or 11 completions, but 5 touchdown passes.
I like that ratio. Let's keep that going, right? Well, I think Marcus Aurora did a really good job of getting a lot of guys involved with the offense today. You know how we feel about our backfield. Those guys are special guys, and they've worked. They've earned playing time when playing time matters. And they got it today. So we spread the ball around a lot. Justin is, he's a master of this offense. He knows it extremely well. He was able to deliver it on the second and third read on a number of occasions. Put us in the right play a couple times as well in the run game. And just overall, very pleased with his performance. I know we want those 2 picks back at the end. Certainly not what we want and how we want to end one of the last series of the game. But he came back after that, and you saw him launch that ball and hit Jalen in the end zone. So I think the best part about a win like this, there's so many things that you can correct and get better at. Therefore, having your team feel like, okay, we'll take the 1-0 part, we'll take the 58 points, but we know we can do better. And that we have to learn how to not only be tested by we have to learn how to test ourselves on a day-by-day basis and practice and everything we do. And I think our guys are really enthused in the locker room about getting after it and getting right back to work and see how far we can go.
Right here on the right, AJ.
Coach, I was interested in your rotation of the quarterbacks today. Can you take us through your thought process on why you did what you did? Burmeister went in for a series, then you put Herbert back in. What was going on?
Well, we thought that it was a good idea to get Braxton in when the game still was a game. When playing time mattered. Get him in there with the first offensive line. Get him in there with the tailbacks, the 1 wide receivers, and the tight ends to see him perform and execute with those guys. When we didn't move the ball and they scored, well, it just triggered, hey, we need to get back on track, and that's why we put the ones back in. Just did not want the game to go the other way, regardless of whether it was a comfortable lead or not. The comfort part has nothing to do with it, neither does the score, but we want to play good football. We want to play Oregon football, and so then after when we got a more comfortable lead, that's when we activated Braxton again to get him reps, because he has earned it and he has played well, and we got to get all our guys, especially our 2s, playing better football.
Back middle, Steve.
Mario, with the running backs, that kind of what you expected in terms of the rotation and mixing it up, and what was kind of your initial reaction to seeing some of those new guys in their first game?
It was good to see. I mean, we knew that we always knew that TBJ is an explosive guy, and he showed that on the screen pass. We knew that Travis and CJ were coming on really strong in camp, have shown it ever since they've been here. We knew Cyrus was a guy that, he's a big, powerful guy and can make things happen. And we knew that Darren Felix, before his injury, that he was also another explosive player. And we all know what Taj can do when he's got some space. So we want to really spread the ball out a little bit, give each guy a turn. Will it be like that every single game? It's hard. It's hard to do that every single game. But today, we felt it was necessary to get all those guys involved in some way, shape, or form. They did. Most of them, for the most part, they had some pretty good success. And whatever formula works to keep moving the chains and scoring points, we're going to do.
Right next one in the middle, Austin.
Mario, on the 2 picks, are those throws you think Justin would like to have back, or are you looking for the receiver to make more of a play on the ball?
Great question. A little bit of both. They play man coverage, and they're pretty good at jamming our receivers, something that we've been working on, trying to get better at. And we can't get cut off inside when running any kind of inside route, slant, some of those skinny posts that we run. We got cut off right there. And the ball was already gone. It's a timing throw. They were in position, kind of fell right in their lap. The second one, the ball got tipped when we, again, should probably be in better position. But if we're not in good position, we got to have a better throw. So, again, no finger pointing one thing or the other. The precision and the timing of the passing game, especially when it's a quick game, has to be on point 100%. At the end of the game there, it wasn't. We got to get to work on it.
Same row on the right, Tyson.
Just following up on that question, what's Justin like when he comes back from throwing a pick, like on the sidelines? Is he an autocorrect guy? Do you guys what do you guys talk to him about?
He is a guy that he can take hard coaching. He can, and he wants hard coaching. I mean, he's grown so much over the course of the last year. It's incredible. I know we've talked about it a few times. He's a football player. He's a student of the game. He wants to know why and how he can do it better. So, to me, that's the most important, role a player could have is to be coachable. And just because he has been such a great player for a while now, doesn't change that. And he's been exceptional as it relates to that, and it's a great example for other players.
Right behind him. 3.
Last season, most penalized team in the nation. Tonight, you only have 3 penalties for 35 yards. Are you pleased with that? Are you pleased with the discipline you're seeing, especially late in the game?
Mm-hmm. You know what? If we could have walked out of the stadium with 1 penalty tonight, we were right on the cusp of it, which would have been good. Offensively, you look at if we have 1 penalty every 31 plays. Don't ask me why it's 31. It's just a mathematical equation we came up with. But every 31 plays, you think you're going to have a pretty successful night as it relates to that part of the game, discipline, and not having penalties. Well, right before that, running into the returner, we were on course to do even more than that. So we're pleased with progress. We certainly want to cut it down even more. It has to keep showing up. It was 3 penalties for 35 yards. So, I can't, with a straight face, walk back in the locker room and say, hey, man, great job on the 3 penalties. But I can tell them, of course, hey, there's progress. These are the areas we have to fix, and we'll get right back to work on it and address those and fix them.
Same row on the right, your team.
Coach, as you look at going ahead toward next week in Portland State, both on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, what are the main key things you're looking to improve on both sides?
It starts with fundamentals. It always will be, because fundamentals lead to better execution. And then you got to go and turn on the reel and see who's playing with true relentless effort. It's got to be that way. If you can raise your effort, if you can raise a standard for your effort levels as a ball club, you'd be amazed at how many things you can correct just by playing hard. It's been a huge goal of ours. We will grade this film extremely hard. We will be very structured and regimented in our approach to post-game assessment, because that's the only way to get better. Find out what we're doing good, what we're good at, what we're not so good at. Do we need to keep pushing on it, or do we need to go another avenue, right? To make sure that we're either stopping the run, moving the ball, and running the ball better, whatever it may be. So I think the first thing is sitting down and analyzing the film. I think our things like kickoff coverage was a big point of emphasis going into the season. And I think it showed up tonight. But I got to watch the film. I don't know if we were in our lanes. I don't know if we got boxed out of our lanes and we happened to fall into a tackle. I know this. I felt that we controlled the line of scrimmage on the offense side of the ball. Pleased with that. And the quarterback had time to throw. But 1 sack on Justin Herbert is still 1 sack too many, regardless of how long the ball's being. It doesn't matter, right? The couple turnovers is a couple turnovers too many, right? They have to be addressed because it is a matter of execution and precision in the passing game. So You can imagine the list I have at my on my notepad tonight to go through. But I think the best part about it was there's a team in the locker room that's enthused about the victory, but also not satisfied, knowing that there's so much more meat on the bone, so to speak, that we can have if we continue to push ourselves and grind and get better.
On the right, standing up, Sky.
One of the keys in a game like this is leaving healthy. Can you update us on Cam? I saw him leave on a cart, and then also Lamar.
Yeah, well, Cam, it looks like he hurt his leg. Now he got X-rays, so we think it might be a pretty significant injury. And we'll certainly get that information to you as we get it. I'd hate to say something and then it not be that. Lamar and a couple other guys are getting checked. They took some pretty good shots, and we always have to check guys for there to be a concussion, a shoulder injury, or whatnot. So those guys are being checked, and certainly as soon as we get true word on what it is, we'll get that to you.
Right here on the left, Eric.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about tempo and running into, I think, 85, 95 plays. Were you happy with kind of the way, how many plays you got in and the pace you're running at, or kind of how do you appraise that part of the game?
Yeah, at times it looked okay. The problem is the screen pass was a one hit, right? The long pass was another one hit. We had a lot of one hitters, and I thought the part that hit me right away, and let me see how it looks out right here. I think in the first half, the time of possession was, if I say 21-9, if I'm not mistaken, but the score read what it did. So since we had a lot of explosive plays that led to, scoring drives or one play drives, it skews the numbers a little bit. So it's not the number that we want. I know that we're at 68 in a game that was still, a game where the game was on the line. At the end there, we probably wouldn't go as slow. So overall, at times, yes. At other times, probably not as much.
Front left, right here, Matt.
How do you feel like you guys tackled tonight? Do you feel like it was what you've seen in practice, or was it a step back or step forward?
Yeah, they did some nice things. They ran the ball on us a little bit. Our guys did play with really good effort. I mean, watching that from the sideline, you always assess the line of scrimmage, who's getting knocked back, and felt that we had some pretty good controlled line of scrimmage. We play that odd front, and there's a lot of pressure on those four eyes to hold on to that B gap, and they did a really nice job of blocking out with the guard, folding the tackle inside, and then inserting the Y on top of that. So the linebacker at times was met with two bodies as the fold player was trying to come in and try to help him address the A and the B gap. So credit to them for a nice scheme, and we were trying to make adjustments to it, but they had success doing that. Then at other times we held up a little bit better. We have to tackle better. We did do a lot of tackling drills, and we did tackle live a couple times throughout the course of camp. But tackling, penalties, fundamentals typically show up in week one. It showed up in spurts tonight, and in other times, guys tackled okay. So we'll have to assess the film to know exactly where. But yeah, we want to improve it.
Back right, Tyson.
You guys have a pretty young secondary, but it was Ugo, a veteran. I believe it was two drives in a row. One was a pick six, and the other, I don't remember if it was a sack or a tackle for a loss, but it was on a third down. Where does he kind of fit in with this group, and what's kind of like his age and kind of leadership do for that kind of young core?
Yeah, he's awesome. Ugo is one of the members of our leadership council, unanimously voted to the leadership council. The guy is incredible in the offseason as a leader and as a mentor. We have a mentorship program for all the young guys that come in the program, so they always have someone to turn to and whatnot. Well, we're not allowed to be out there during the summertime, right? You have your rules and whatnot, compliance that monitors all that stuff. Every single young guy, all right, on our team mentions Ugo because of what he does with them, how he helps him learn, the time he spends with them to help him adjust to the scheme and help them adjust to living, in college and all that other stuff. So to me, that's just a carryover of what he is and what he has been. The fact that he is so diverse that he could jump back there at safety, jump at the nickel spot, play corner, and know this defense inside and out, and know what the offense is bringing, he's invaluable in a ton of different ways. And we're certainly privileged and blessed to have him. And he's another guy where he knows his best football is ahead of him.
And one more question. Austin, right in the middle.
Is anyone going to give Travis or Troy Dye a little credit for his the nifty footwork there on the sideline with the interception? Because he's been killing me in the locker room about playing tight end. So I thought you guys might want to get it out of the way now,
Mario, how do you assess the play of your receivers overall? And back here, of your receivers overall, and is Tabari close to being able to get in the mix?
Oh, I think so. You know, he got banged up in camp a little bit, so he missed some time. And we spent a little time today in 21 personnel. But we expect him to be a major player and have a major role on this team. I think he's getting back into form, and I think you'll see more of him here in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. All right, go Ducks.
Have books. I know. We'll have extras upstairs. All right, guys. How you doing? Good. You guys enjoying? You guys enjoying that?
Catch that one ball, bounce right
Oh,
on his hand.
You could have
You can't play tight end.
How can he drop the spot route and then drag his feet?
Hey,
Hey, you know what? I just asked everyone. I just stopped and talked about the unbelievable thing.
He didn't mention the middle though, Troy.